Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Sorry about the glitch with the time with our beloved Facebook. Wait a minute, here I am. Yeah, it's always going to be, at least to the extent that I can, it will always be at 11:30 Mountain, which is 1:30 Eastern. So yes, I am still in Florida, and many of you know that my dad passed last week. That means he died, sadly. Um, but I'm very happy to be here with you. I'm also very happy, grateful for all of your good wishes. Thank you so much for all of your good wishes and all of your care and everything else. So, um, again, Monica Corrado here, the GAPS chef. I am a teaching chef, holistic nutritionist, certified GAPS practitioner, and I'm on Dr. Natasha's teaching team, which is a real honor for me. Um, yeah, and the people on the team are great too. It's wonderful. So I wanted to talk today about. First to let you all know that I am not a medical doctor. I will not say anything that can heal you. Sorry. Um, yeah. Also, this particular platform is limiting my ability to invite people. I'm not sure why, since this is my group and my page, but just to let everyone know that I'm not able to invite people. So if you can invite people, that would be great. All right. So, yeah, what else do I have to tell you? You all know that I have a new book out, or it should be known. It's my second edition of the complete cooking techniques for the GAPS diet. You can get $10 off of that book if you use the code, which I'm going to put into the chat. See if I can do it. I have an injured shoulder, so that's the code. I know, Andy, right? I hear you. Um, I hear you. Okay, so that's the code to get $10 off the new book. And again, thank you everyone for your well wishes, for your prayers, for your kindnesses, for your comments around my dad's passing. It's been a really rough, I don't know, 2 months really. So still have to get through the funeral next week. But thanks to all of you, I'm still sane. Part of why I'm still doing my recordings, my Facebook Lives, and teaching is because it helps me to stay sane. It helps me to remember that, yeah, life goes on, and life going on is really important. So today I thought I would we could look at a couple of things that keep coming up on the page, and that is I get questions about fermentation and I get questions about culturing dairy. And a lot of the questions could be easily answered, or people would know if I just demystify some things. So that's what I thought I would do now. Hold on a second. I'm looking at some. The hell? I don't know what community standards are. Go away. Oh, yeah. All right. Hello! I don't know if you all have to do some kind of community standard thing now. Hello, Edil. But I don't know. We may need to move on to just onto YouTube in a moment, in a while. All right. So here's the deal. Let's just see. I want to talk about culturing dairy and about lacto-fermentation, and then I will get all of any questions that any of you have, which I'm happy to answer while we're here and I'm live today. So let's talk about this. Let's start with culturing dairy. So a lot of people ask me questions. Hello, Dawn. So good to see you too. And everyone else who's out there seeing me, but I can't see you. So good to have you with us. All right. So let's talk about culturing dairy. I get a lot of questions about Interesting. I know. I know, right, Andy? I don't know. Let's go back. Let's try again. I get a lot of questions on this page about using different milks, like goat milk versus cow milk versus sheep milk versus camel milk versus water buffalo milk. Just remember and how to culture them and how to make them into yogurt or how to make them into kefir or how to do any of those wonderful culturing things. And what I have to say is that all of it is the same. You don't have to worry about doing anything different, whether you're using cow or sheep or cow or goat or any of those. All of the techniques for culturing dairy, meaning all of the techniques, all of the ways that you make yogurt, all of the ways that you make kefir are going to be the same across the spectrum of the different milks, of the different mammals. If it's a mammal, you culture it the same way. So don't be concerned. Don't worry. As I said, I get questions about, I've got goat milk. How do I work with it? Or, yikes, I'm trying some other milk and I don't know what to do. Just find the recipes for cow yogurt and go ahead. Hello, Joanna. And go ahead and use those directions the same way. So, really important. So that should take care of a lot of questions when people say, well, I'm trying goat or I'm trying sheep or I'm trying a different type of milk. How do I make yogurt? You make it the same way you would make cow yogurt or yogurt from cow milk. How do you make kefir? You make it the same way that you would make kefir. So from cow milk. So just don't worry about that. What kind of milk you've got. You've got a mammal. You've got milk from a mammal, so use the same instructions to make yogurt or to make kefir. Now, you'll notice that I'm not saying anything about making sour cream. That is because many of the other mammals, or at least goat, I'm quite clear, goat milk is very hard to separate into cream because it's naturally homogenized. What I mean by that is the milk fat, the cream, the fat of the milk is very evenly distributed throughout the milk. It's very hard to separate. Cow milk, as all of you know, I hope, raw cow milk that comes straight from the cow instead of going to be pasteurized, is going to separate naturally. It will separate naturally in the refrigerator. It'll separate naturally on your counter. It'll separate into cream at the top and then milk at the bottom. So that's why it's easy for those of us that are making our own homemade GAPS sour cream. That's cream that's cultured with yogurt culture, or kefir cream. That's cream that's cultured with kefir, right? Kefir culture. It's easy to make with cow because you can separate the cream out from the milk with cow milk. So all of the different milks, so goat milk, you're not really going to be able to separate the cream out easily on your counter. And as for the other ones, the same. So don't worry about it. Just know that you can use the techniques for yogurt, making yogurt, and the techniques for making kefir with all of the milks. And if you make it with goat milk, your goat milk yogurt will be very rich compared to just cow milk yogurt because it's just a richer, fattier, more, just a fattier type of milk. The goat milk has a lot of cream in it. So, all right. So I hope that helps with folks. The next thing I want to go over is a difference between pasteurized versus not pasteurized. Okay, so pasteurized versus not pasteurized. So pasteurized, I want to check one thing here. Hold on. Okay. Pasteurized milk versus raw milk. Good, healthy, clean milk from grass-fed cows, goats, sheep. Um, the standards for quality for those are far higher than any pasteurized milk will ever be. Imagine that. Um, so just remembering that in her latest book, Blue Book, Dr. Natasha talked about kefir, 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 and we've talked about that before in this group. Um, and what I mean by that is she has said over and over again in the Blue Book that it doesn't matter whether you use, of course it matters. Let me say it differently. Whether you use pasteurized milk or raw milk, of course the preference is always raw milk. But should you not be able to get raw milk, and you can only get pasteurized milk, you do not need to heat that milk to make kefir from grains. I know a lot of you have read the Blue Book, you know that already, but I just want to put that out there for people who haven't read it yet. If you have pasteurized milk, you can just add the kefir grains right to it, room temperature, or even cold. Not that that's best, of course, but you don't have to bring it up to 180 Fahrenheit and down to 110, 105 to culture. So I just want to make that point. Okay, next point that I want to talk about. Again, we're trying to get those, I'm trying to get some of the things that I'm seeing on the page that are pretty easily explained. And once you get it, you'll be just cooking gap style. Okay, so, and that is in lacto-fermentation. When we talk about lacto-fermentation, the principles are the same. What does that mean? It means that no matter what vegetable you're using, the way you ferment it is the same. So we have fabulous people from all over the world right now that are doing GAPS because everyone needs it. Everyone needs to be eating live foods. Everyone needs to be cutting out sugar and grains that are, grains, period. Everyone needs to be cutting out GMOs, and they need to be cutting out glyphosate and all the CRAP that's out there in processed foods, right? Yeah. So everyone needs this. So all over the world, all over, people, Asia, Africa, Eastern Europe, Europe. Sorry, I did a split there. Right? Alaska, the U.S., North America, South America, wherever you are, there are going to be different vegetables. And when there are different vegetables, it doesn't matter. Ferment them. Ferment them the same way. Right? You can ferment them with just salt and water as in a brine. You can use salt and a starter and water. You can use salt and yogurt whey and water. You can use salt and kefir whey and water, right? All of these techniques are outlined in my book, but you can do all of that with any of your vegetables. Caveat, let me not misspeak, no potatoes. No, right? We don't, any of the vegetables, so no starchy vegetables. We're not doing this with potatoes. We're not doing sweet potatoes. We're not doing fibrous things like Jerusalem artichoke, celeriac, parsnips, things like that. Everything else you can use the same principles of fermentation over and over and over. And what are they? 2 tablespoons of salt for every quart of vegetables or liter. Quart or liter, they're about the same size. I'm showing my North Americanishness. Sorry. Or 1 tablespoon of salt plus 4 tablespoons of whey. Right? You know that. That's the little formula. Over and over again, it'll work with vegetables. So I just thought I'd bring that up today. I wanted to just talk about these very easy principles. Once you know them, you will be culturing like crazy. You will be, in a good way, you will be fermenting like crazy in a good way. Yeah. So spread the good news of how easy it is to culture. Let your friends know. Spread the good news of how easy it is to ferment. Let everyone know. And keep up the good work out there, all you moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandparents, sisters, brothers, cousins, caregivers, GAPS practitioners, GAPS coaches, whoever's out there doing this thing. Keep it up because you're doing great. All right. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. You can tell I'm tired. Look at poor me. Anyway. All right. Let's look at some questions. I hope that was helpful. And let's look at some questions. Yay to everyone who has come. So happy to be with you. All right. So Lace. Hello, Lace. Welcome. All right. I'm going to get back to you because I'm going to go through the comments and see if there are questions that have to do with what I just talked about, and then I'll go back and do everything else. How's that? So I'll be back to you, Lace. Welcome, welcome. Okay, Leonie Green. I hope I said that right. Leonie, please, everyone, forgive me for butchering your name if I say it wrong. I don't mean to. Okay. For those of us who struggle with ferments due to histamine, what of the dairy ferments is the best tolerated and how to build it up? Good question. Everybody's got a good question, but this is, yeah. Okay, so one of the things, for those of us who so just a couple of things, folks. Good is going to lead to some good points. Number one, the longer you do a ferment, folks, meaning the longer you let a sauerkraut go and ferment for a year or 6 months, 8 months, a year, the longer you ferment a vegetable, the less histamine it will have. Okay, so start putting up those veggies now and eat them in a year. All right. In terms of dairy, histamine will increase over time and then it will decrease. So I would culture, and probably kefir would be best because it cultures in 24 hours. Yogurt too. You could try either of those for sure. I hope that's helpful. But in the meantime, you all know, Leonie and everybody else, you all know that if you're having trouble with ferments because of histamine, that is when you bring in a good, powerful probiotic so that you can continue to increase the amount of good bacteria you're getting into the body if you can't eat it. Okay? That's when you do that. All right. I might have to just start from the top because I don't want to lose these comments. I'm not sure what they're going to do to me this time. All right. Let's go to Lace. Hello, I've read both of Dr. Natasha's books. Excellent! About die-off and have watched your videos, but I'm not understanding how constipation is a type of die-off. Is it just because our bodies need to hold on to nutrients? I'm nerdy. Yay, so am I! Okay, and just like understanding the science behind it, I believe some of the issue is liver gallbladder support, which I'm doing with all the things. Before I started intro, I never had constipation. Okay, so a couple things. Number one, constipation, if you get onto intro and you have constipation, let me start differently. If you're prone to constipation, which I know is not what you said, Lace, but if people are prone to constipation, the suggestion is to start on full gaps. You already know that because you've read both books. Why would you get constipated? You could get constipated, everyone, if you're introducing probiotic foods too quickly. Got it? You could get constipated if you're introducing probiotic foods too quickly, or you're introducing cultured dairy that's high protein. That would be yogurt or kefir, right? If you're getting constipated on intro, drop the yogurt and kefir for a little while, buck up your fats and your water, and really do a lot of cultured cream. Hope that's helpful. Yes, constipation can also be a sign of congested liver congestion. So I'm happy you're doing all those things. Okay, and remember too, the other thing Dr. Natasha says about constipation is that it is because one of the major reasons is that you just have to get your microbiome chuffed up. You just need more good bacteria and good yeast. So keep at it. I would suggest that you do things like beet kvass and fermented beets and beet juice, not straight beet juice, but beet juice in your juicing. GAPS milkshakes, absolutely. All right. And whatever else you need to do to get that liver decongested. However, remembering everyone, what's the number one thing for constipation? Enemas, enemas, enemas. Get jiggy with enemas. That means read the book on bowel management, the blue book, chapter on bowel management, get a good enema kit, and off you go. All right, let's see. I was told not to do enemas. Oops! Since my issue was loose bowel movements post-COVID. Yeah, no, I would be doing enemas if you're constipated, everyone, unless you have some kind of medical reason not to do it. And those are outlined too in the blue book. I'm about 4 weeks into intro. Is it normal to go back and forth between constipation and regular? Yes. Actually, many people go back between constipation, diarrhea, constipation, loose stools, diarrhea, constipation. Yeah, I mean, why? Because you're rebuilding your microbiome. And yes, you're adding in new foods, all sorts of things. Yes. All right. Remember, the stool gives us information about what's happening in the gut, right? The stool is a great bit of information. It gives us information. So read the stool, but don't get verklempt. Don't get constipated about what's happening with your stool. Know that there are things you can do to help the stool come back to balance, or help your bowel movements come back to balance, right? Yeah. What would one aspect of healing look like? Not being constipated anymore? Yes, but remembering that. Let me give you an example. So I've been on and off GAPS for years. Sometimes I really do it very, very well. Sometimes I just do Weston Price, etc., etc. Even now, when I have more probiotic foods than I'm used to having, I will have a firmer stool. That's probably TMI. In any case, but it'll be the same for you. If you have, when you're bringing things in, the body's going to recalibrate. So not to worry. You don't want to be constipated for days at all. You don't even want to be constipated for 1 day. So use the tools. I'm going to make a rhyme. Use the tools to loosen the stools. Sorry, I'm a little punchy at this point because I'm exhausted. Anyway, use your tools to loosen the stools. All right, that's for our new friend, Lace. Let me know if you have further questions. All right, Brianna. Hey, Brianna. Brianna, holla. Hello. All right. If you can get raw milk but not from a trusted source, is it better to pasteurize it myself? Wonk, here we go. Or still use it raw? So, not from a trusted source. What does that mean? So if the not trusting has to do with you not knowing what they're feeding them, you do not need to do anything about pasteurizing. If the not trusting is that you don't know how clean their operation is, yeah, definitely. But there should be no one out there. Raw milk producers are so careful. They really are. There should be no one giving you or selling you raw milk that doesn't come from a clean cow. So I hope that's helpful. Hope that makes sense to you. If it has to do with what they're eating, no need. If it has to do with your concern about cleanliness, oh yeah, definitely. Definitely heat that stuff up. Okay? All right, also with eggs, can I get, if I can get free range but not from a trusted source? Brianna, give me more information about this not trusted source business. Please. I don't know what that means. Hala says, hello, Hala. Fermenting colostrum with kefir grains. Yes! Is it more or less lactose in colostrum? Mine never got thick after 36 hours. I'm not sure that we're looking for thickness in colostrum. I think we're looking for culturing. So those are going to be two different things. Just because something didn't get thick, folks, doesn't mean it's not cultured. Use your nose. Hala, you should be able to smell colostrum, which is really smell like nothing. And then it should smell a little bit sour after it's fermented. So, um, yeah. More lactose or less lactose? Not really sure. I wouldn't go with whether or not it got thick. I would go with, did it ever split a little bit? Did it split? Meaning, did it show some liquid? So the solids at the top and the liquids at the bottom. Check that out. I hope that's helpful. All right, let's see where we are. Jennifer Davis loves it. All right, Jennifer, I'm going to see you later. I'll sing that little ditty to the coaches. How's that? Okay. I don't know. It just came to me. I must be delirious from all this stress with my dad. I don't know. Who knows? All right, let's see. La 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 la. I don't know. Holla. You're welcome. All right. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I'm just trying to go up and down. Sometimes they block my questions. I lose them. Here we go. All right, here we go. Hello, Uma. Good to see you also. Thank you so much. Okay, Joanna says, hey, Joanna, my friend, if you have a lot of sauerkraut brine left over and you want to ferment using that brine, how much salt, if any, would you use? 1 quart jar, 1/3 of the jar liquid left. I probably wouldn't do more than a tablespoon in a quart jar. That's probably good. So happy you're using that beautiful stuff. Remember, folks, you can just drink sauerkraut brine, right? That's like your best not flu shot. Not shot for flu, right? It's the best thing to keep you well. Drink the sauerkraut juice. Ferment your meat in the sauerkraut juice. Do all sorts of things with it. Why do I have so much left? Because I give it to my grandson with the juice strained so he can pick it up with his fingers. Excellent! That's wonderful. That's a lucky grandson, Joanna. Okay. Hey, Carol. How are you? All right, let's see how Carol's doing. I recently have had something new happening with my beet kvass. I usually store in Grolsch bottles, but I'm wondering if the seal is breaking down. My kvass is turning a more red maroon instead of the dark, more fuchsia color, and the taste changes. It does not taste bad, just different. Yes, that could be what's happening, Carol. You could be having, the seal could be breaking down. Yep. Not a problem. You can still drink it. Mine, red or maroon. It also could be the time of year, the type of beet, how old they are, what you used for the starter. I mean, there's lots of things that could be going on here. But not to worry. Get some new stoppers, that's all. I'd get some new stoppers and see if it changes, and then let us know. Okay. Leonie asks, thanks, Monica, or says, doing exactly that, taking low histamine probiotics, also making SIBO yogurt, blah, blah, blah. Great. Wonderful. Wunderbar. I love it. Okay, level 2. Possible to do fermented butter. First do kefir with cream only and then do butter of it. One would eat the cream kefir, so it would be okay. Yes! Go for it. I love it. I don't know if everybody's following what Hala is asking, but you could make kefir cream and then make that into butter. Whoa! That would be spectacular. Go for it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes! Do it. It's going to be great. Okay, Uma wants to know what causes pathway blockages. I'm betting you're thinking about the liver. Are you thinking about the liver or detoxification pathway blockage? What causes pathway blockages in the body? Toxins. Toxins. Toxins from the air, toxins from the food, toxins from the water, toxins from the body products you use, toxins from the cleaning products, toxins from bad fats. That's usually the culprit when we talk about pathways being blocked. Yes. So clean up your diet, which you're doing with GAPS, and then do the detox protocols, folks. Really important to do the detox protocols. A lot of people talk the food very well, and they're doing the food very well, and that's awesome. But What are they doing to detoxify? You must support the liver. You must support the body. You must support the detoxification because the body's going to have die-off as you bring in more nutrients, and the body's going to have die-off and detoxing or toxins releasing when you bring in more probiotic foods. The more cultured dairy you eat, the more sauerkraut you eat, all of those things. When you eat all those things, you're going to have toxins released into the body. So support the body. Support it with those detox protocols. I've done a couple on YouTube. We've got one on the 5 detox baths. We've got one, or I did one on just detoxification in general, how to support the liver. So look at all of those. I hope they're helpful. Okay. Jennifer, you'll have to remind me of that tune if I forget it later. Anyway. Okay, here is, Brianna lives in Rwanda without national cleanliness standards. Okay. Yep. We're talking about her eggs. Let me go back up to the eggs. We'll get to Edil in a moment. With eggs, if I can get free range but not from a trusted source, are they still okay to use raw yolks? Yes, I would say yes, but remember, folks, in anything I say, in anything Dr. Natasha says, I think she would agree, if in anything any certified gas practitioner, coach, or anyone, any doctor tells you, your sister, your mother, the farmer, whoever you're talking to, you have to feel good about it in your body. So, Brianna, if you're like, yikes, I don't know about these eggs, do not eat them because you're split. Your energy is split, and that is not a good thing. If you say to me, I can get clean eggs, but they're not pastured, they're only organic, I would go there because then you can really know that you can feel comfortable eating them. And one more time with feeling. Do not proceed with anything that anyone suggests if you don't feel good about it. You know your body. You have intrinsic body wisdom. You know. So listen to your body first. So Brianna, again, I would sit there and think about those eggs. And if you don't like those eggs, if you're worried about those eggs because they're not from a trusted source, do not get them. Do not get them because somebody said pastured was better. Okay? I hope that's clear. Right? Same thing now that I know more about the raw milk. Yeah, I would pasteurize it. Absolutely. That means bring it up to 212. I would bring it up to 212 or 180 at least Fahrenheit. Right? And then bring it back down before you culture it. All right. Back to Edil. Okay. My twins both got the flu. Excellent. Remember, symptoms and flus and fevers and mucus are all immune system upgrades. We love it. Support them through the flu. Support them. Okay. They barely ate anything. Excellent. That's fine. They're listening to their bodies. And that was fine. And now that they have recovered, the bad appetite is still there. What can you do to make them eat and enjoy food the way they used to? You can do nothing to make anybody do anything. Pretty hardcore. I know I just said that. So what would you do? Sorry, that was a little strong. What would I do? As a mom, which I am, I would start with you want to start in another place. Sorry, hold on. Respect their bodies, meaning if they don't want to eat, do not force them to eat. They just came off a flu. Their body may still be in detox mode. So what you want to do is really support them with enemas, with detox baths, with castor oil packs, with lots of sunshine if you're in a place where you can get sunshine right now. Lots of sunshine. If you can get to fresh water like the ocean or a lake or a stream, get them outside. And then start working on their digestive fire. So what does that mean? Garlic, ginger, garlic and ginger tea will help to stimulate their digestion. And also perhaps I would be doing lots of stock. Start with them bring in liquids first and then go from there. Yeah, bring in liquids first and then go from there. Meaning warm liquids, warm light soups. Just warm light soups. Lots of good salt. Lots of good whey. Lots of good supportive things. Maybe some liver that's, maybe you want to do some liver that is grated into the soup. That kind of thing. I hope that's helpful. All right. Hello, Lace. Okay, thank you so much. I haven't done any dairy that causes constipation yet, as in waiting. I'm waiting until I'm more regular, but I'm about to try Gap sour cream this week. This is very helpful and really helps me see the bigger picture, which really helps my brain. Ha ha ha. Excellent, Lace. So happy to hear that. Yes, happy to help. All right, let us know how it goes, so to speak. Okay, I'm just funny today. Jennifer, you can throw another LOL on there if you want to. All right. Oh dear. Brianna says typhoid and other lack of hygiene sicknesses are rampant. Majority of people do not even wash their hands after using the toilet. So yeah, if you are there in if anyone is in any kind of country that's that way, absolutely yes. Yes, do what you need to do to make sure your food is clean. And if that means heating it and pasteurizing the milk, if you will, yes, do that. Absolutely. All right, Dill. Hello, Dill. All right, let's see who else is down there. La 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 la. Andy, Adriana, hello. Dill says, my baby will be 6 months old soon. Excellente. Congratulations. Planning to do GAPS baby solids. Can you do a live on this topic or share any tips, insights at this live? I would be happy to do that. I would, everyone, if you have a baby that's going on GAPS, grab the yellow book. Dr. Natasha has a lot in the yellow book around baby GAPS. I would definitely do that, but I'm going to write that down. As I said, my shoulder is out, so I'm going to, GAPS, baby, solids, FBL. Got it. Okay, wrote it down. Great. Okay. But yeah, that's the first thing I would do, Dill. If you haven't done it yet, is I would grab the yellow book and I would look at baby GAPS or, new baby in the family and see what she has to say right there to start with. Uma says, I feel cold, my feet after a coffee enema. When I drink a GAP shake, I feel better. What do you think about that situation? Very good. So, I feel cold after a coffee enema. Cold feet. My feet are cold after. Are you doing the coffee enema at the right temperature? So we know that coffee enemas are going to be done a little bit warmer than body temperature. And remember to everyone to please do a basic enema before you do a coffee enema, right? Basic enema is water, salt, and baking soda. And the temperature of the water is a little bit cooler than body temperature, just a little titch. And then coffee enemas are done at a warmer temperature, just a little warmer, so that you're able to hold the coffee in. So cold feet can be a sign of circulation issues. That's usually what it is. Cold feet, cold hands, cold extremities is usually a circulation issue. You feel when you drink the GAP shake, you feel better. What do I think about it? I think that, hold on everybody, I'm sorry, but my son is currently texting in and I need to see that. Okay, good. Never mind, he's fine. Okay, sorry. Snow day in Colorado tomorrow, 6 inches to 10 inches, but I'm in Florida. Okay, what I would do is I would work with what works for you, Uma, and everyone. Work with what works for you. So do you feel better doing GAP shakes? Do GAP shakes. Do you feel better after coffee enema? Do coffee enemas. Listen to your body, what feels best. It's very, very wise. Very wise. When you drink a GAP shake, everyone, let me start in a different place. This may be helpful. I hope. So, When you do a coffee enema, what is happening? The coffee is being absorbed by in the colon, right? It's being absorbed, and it is making the liver detoxify faster. That's my understanding. So it's running blood through the liver faster, and so you're detoxifying more. Okay? That's what happens there. When you drink a GAPS shake, which is the official GAPS shake on page 80 of the Blue Book, right, with raw eggs, not raw egg yolks, but the whole eggs and cultured cream or some other fat that you can tolerate, etc., etc., etc. That GAPS shake is built, those ingredients are there to help dissolve any kind of possible stone in the gallbladder or liver. Yeah, it won't really be in the liver, but right. So, or in the bile ducts, really. So that's what happens with the GAPS shake. That's why we work with those. So, Uma and everyone else, what I would say to you over and over again is make sure that you are doing whatever is best for you and your body. And you know, that may change week to week. Some weeks you might want to do a bunch of coffee enemas and feel great. And then some other weeks you may want to do a bunch of GAPS shakes and that feel great. So there's no right answer here. The answer is what feels best to you and your body. That's the answer. Okay, let's see. Dil Aura says, a silly question, I know, but will water kefir have the same benefits as milk kefir, specifically for eczema? You know, I do have students and clients on this call, I know, or whatever we're doing here, Facebook Live, that know that I am not a water kefir lover. I never have been because I think it's too easy to make water kefir with too much sugar in it. So if you want to make coconut water kefir, that may be a good option. Will it have the same benefits as milk kefir, specifically for eczema? So there's so first problem I have, this is the word according to Monica here, and also you don't see water kefir in any of the GAPS books. Everyone make a note of that, right? So my first issue is water kefir can have a lot of sugar in it if people don't know what they're doing, meaning they're not fermenting long enough. Okay, what's the next issue? Water kefir does not have I would say it is not as soothing to the gut as milk kefir is because of the amount of lactic acid in the milk kefir. Also, of course, milk kefir is very high in bioavailable calcium. Very important for growing bones. But in terms of eczema, again, I would stick with milk kefir. However, if you can't do milk kefir and you can do water kefir, go that way, right? So my preference would be do milk kefir, do kefir cream. If you can't do those because you're not doing dairy yet and you need to start really getting that good yeast in, I would do three things. One, make coconut water kefir, but make it from real coconut water, not a box or can. Two, I would make milk kefir and I would strain that way and make vegetable medley because the brine of vegetable medley is going to be very potent. I would do that. And number three is, if you really need to, go ahead and make water kefir. Just make sure you culture it long, again, not to be sweet. Can't be sweet. If it's sweet, the sugar is still there. Alrighty, I hope that was helpful. Let's see what else we've got. You're welcome, Brianna. I'm glad it was helpful, and I appreciate you and everyone else that's here today. All right, and everyone that's going to be here later. Andy says, get to know the farmer. They should take pride in their operation if they are clean. Yes. All right, let's see. Jennifer cracks me up. Okay, time to go skiing in Colorado. Adriana, if I could be in Colorado right now, you know I would. Missing my son and my husband and my dog. Okay. What are your thoughts when we are sick and get symptoms like mucus and coughs and etc.? I know they are immune system upgrades and the body is ridding itself of toxins. So when does excess mucus become a problem and how can we help the body? Yeah, I know. How can we help the body move the mucus? Dealing with you know what here for my husband. The rest of us have been spared so far. So at this point, Adriana, what I would do is, let me start in a different place. What Adriana is mentioning here is what Dr. Natasha talks about, which is mucus is a good thing because it's getting toxins out of the body. That is true. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. I don't want to say it's going to overwhelm the system, but if it gets to be really uncomfortable, what do we do? That's when I personally would suggest looking into the herbs that will dry up that mucus or the herbs that will help that mucus move out more. Bronchial herbs. I'm not an herbalist, but there are bronchial herb things out there. Elecampane, wild cherry bark. Well, those are the two big ones that are cough, bronchial. Eucalyptus, right? Etc. So I would be relying on herbs, and I would meaning tinctures of herbs or capsules of herbs. I love teas, but if you're in a place because they're hot and they'll get things moving. But if you're in a place of where he's really uncomfortable, I would be using tinctures, very, very strong tinctures and things like that, as opposed to a tea. Use the tea also, but you're going to get your bang for the buck, if you will. You're going to get a bigger response if you do a tincture than a tea, always. It's more concentrated. All right, what else? I would also be working with homeopathics. So we know on this group, on this page, we have two phenomenal homeopaths. One is a certified GAPS practitioner. Her name is Lise Battaglia. She is here on the page. Her website is healingnaturally.com, I think. But LISE, you can tag her. The other one is Melissa Crenshaw. She is not a certified GAPS practitioner, but she's aware of GAPS, has done some GAPS. Excellent homeopathy. And of course, my friend and colleague Joette Calabrese, who's not on this page, but she does training all the time. So I would be adding those other things, Adriana. I would be adding the herbal piece, and I would be adding the homeopathic piece, and I would be doing whatever I could to keep the lungs open and to keep the mucociliary escalator going, meaning steams with essential oils, right? Steams with therapeutic grade essential oils, organic. So eucalyptus is the best to open the lungs and to get things moving. Eucalyptus globulus, Globulus. Yeah, that actually opens the bronchioles itself. So I would be doing those things to steams twice a day at least, maybe 3 times. I would be doing essential oils on the bottom of the feet. I would be doing acupuncture for sure. All those things. And blessings to you and your family that you have been spared so far. But remember, all will be well. Blessings, blessings. Let me know if you have further questions, Adriana. Gilda says, hello, Gilda. I've been doing retention enemas for my chronically constipated child daily. A week ago, I added an EVOO and it worked wonders to clean her out. Filtered water, baking soda, Baja Gold Salt, probiotic capsule, and extra virgin olive oil. Thoughts? So, I haven't done one of those with my people yet. I don't know that it would be. I'm just thinking this out loud while I'm talking with you. I don't know that I personally would combine extra virgin olive oil and a probiotic in the same enema. Why? Because the AVOO is going to coat the probiotic and keep it from being absorbed and being used. That's just my own thought. It could be wrong, but that's what I think is happening. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't know. The other thing is oil. Remember, oh, this is really good. So the only thing I would change in that, Gilda, is I might take out the probiotic capsule powder, and if you're going to do EVOO, that's just what I would do. But remembering everyone that we can absorb things through our skin. We do it all the time. We never think about it, but we can absorb things through the skin. So, if your child is chronically constipated, maybe you're doing this already, Gilda, but to rub, massage food grade oil on the abdomen every night before bed, right? You do the abdominal massage of up, over, down, up, over, down, right? Up the right side, over, transverse colon, down the left side, their left side, right? With your extra virgin olive oil, with Udo's 369, with cod liver oil, fish oil, whatever. Get oils in those on those kids and yourselves because it can be absorbed through the skin, especially during when someone's constipated. All right, I hope that's helpful, Gilda. We've got Dawn. Dawn. Here's Dawn giving us some of her expertise, which we love and appreciate. Coffee enemas reach the large intestines, yes, and travel into the portal vein. Woo! Blood that goes direct to the liver and releases the ducts of the liver to cleanse it. So she gave you a little more than I did, but go Dawn. Yes. You are welcome, Uma. All right, what else have we got? Diku. Hello. Can you use 200 mLs or so of kefir to make yogurt with heated pasteurized milk? I'm not sure what the question is. If you're using kefir with milk, you're making kefir. If you're using yogurt with milk, you're making yogurt. They're both cultured dairy, and you could, yeah, whatever you, yes. But remembering that kefir makes kefir and yogurt makes yogurt. Kefir is a different type of bacterial culture, if you will. Bacterial family. It's mostly yeast and a little bit of lactobacilli. Yeah. And yogurt is mostly lactobacilli and a little bit of yeast. So, yes. Hello, Andy. I know, gray skies today. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Mwah. Good to have you with me. Love to you right back. Yes, Andy says mullein is excellent for lungs. Yes, for sure. Hey, Marianne, good to see you. Do a castor oil pack. Yes, Andy is doing a castor oil pack. All right, we've got 6 minutes. Who's got a question? Anybody? Anybody? I'm going to take a drink from my fabulous Flaska bottle. So for everybody that came in late, just so you know, I'm still in Florida. My dad did pass last week. We're having the funeral on Monday. I'm still here caring for my 54-year-old disabled sister, which I'll be doing for a while till we can get her settled. What else can I tell you? Oh, and there is a $10 off coupon code. It is new gaps in all caps. New gaps in all caps. 2023 for my book. You can get $10 off. All right. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have some water. Sorry. This is my flask of water. Maybe bottle. Maybe we should do. I think I'll do a Facebook Live on water. How about that? Structured water. We love it. Okay. Okay. Yes, Dawn is telling Adriana there are several homeopathic combinations for coughs and mucus, etc. Yes. Okay. Good, good. All right. Anyone else have any? Oh, there's Brea. Hello, Brea Lynn. Thank you so much for your kind words. Yes. Good. I'll write it down. We'll do some water. We're going to talk about water. Water. Oh, another quick thing for everyone. I think you all know that I'm teaching in France in September. What else can I tell you? So don't check out my website. I haven't posted it there yet. I've been too busy. So all of you can come with me to Julia Child's house in the south of France. We'll be cooking up a storm. And what else can I tell you? Oh, GAPS OnCon. GAPS OnCon, everybody. There is an online conference coming. I haven't had 1 minute to tell anyone about it because I've been so busy down here in Florida. The GAPS online conference. This is our 3rd year. And this year it's all about, gaps in the real world. And it's going to be so great. So it's February 16th to 18th. I do hope you attend. Dr. Natasha, of course, will be opening each day. I believe that's true. I will be teaching also. Lots of fabulous people talking about important things, gaps in the real world, something like that. That's really going to be helpful. Dawn, you've got to come to France with me. Okay. So I wanted to give you that. I will be posting again on our page, my page, this page, the group, about the GAPS OnCon, so you can go and get information, and about the trip in France, so you can get some information about that too. This year I will be listening online for the GAPS OnCon. Can't wait. Yep, it's going to be great. So I will write that in here. Actually, if Jen is still here, she could throw the link for the GAPS online conference in there. Maybe, if you don't mind. All right, 3 minutes to go. I just want to know, folks, were you able to see that this was happening today? They're not allowing me to invite people anymore. I used to be able to invite the whole page to come, and now it's like it has to be reviewed. So if anyone's, having issues with that, getting on the page or whatever. All right. Any other questions? I'll take one more question, and then we're going to scoot off until next week. I do intend on being here next week, folks, but we are burying my dad on Monday, and I may have family, and I will let you know. Okay, the time was wrong. I know. That's because my silly Facebook page put it Eastern because I'm sitting Eastern, even though I made it Mountain. I saw under events that you were live. Excellent. Thanks, Marianne. Give my love to that East Coast. Ha ha. No, I am on the East Coast, but I'm not up there where you are. Yep. You're welcome, Andy. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. All right, a couple of things, folks. Just as you know, I am on the page as much as I can be. I will be on the page more now that I'm not traveling back and forth to the hospital 2 or 3 times a day. Do tag me if you want me to see something. You know that I'm having a hard time seeing posts for days. Marilyn misses me. I know, Marianne. I'm coming back. We're going to move back in a year. Yes. Back to Maryland area, which I'm so happy about. Anyway, so do tag me on the page. I do want to ask everyone to try and keep the supplements, the things that you're doing outside of the gaps. Thank you, Dawn. So sweet. Posting that for me. I do want to ask you all to keep the supplements that you're doing kind of off the page, unless it's one of the 5 that Dr. Natasha mentions. And I will be talking about that. I think we might do that next week, of what supplements are GAPS supplements, when to use them, and then talk about other supplements, which lots of people like to talk about, which we could do. Maybe we'll do that next week or soon. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close. I thank you all for joining me today. I thank you all for your kind wishes and prayers and light and everything else. It has helped very much. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Do look for the notification. Trying to think about if I'm going to be able to do it if my son is here. Everybody's going to be here. If we can't do it on Tuesday, we'll do it some other day next week, because I really love to do these with all of you. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Marianne. Yes, Jennifer, Andy, Brea Lynn, Dawn. Who else? We got Sandy, Deco, Uma, Gilda, Adriana, Jennifer, and everyone in the top of the page that they won't let me get to any longer. All the best to all of you. Have a wonderful week. Blessings to you. I'll see you again on the page. Hopefully I'll see you at OnCon, and you're very welcome, Uma. You're very welcome. Okay, you're welcome. Be well, everyone. Bye for now.